Bruce is going to do our intro here, and then we'll get things rolling.
So we're on to week 2 of Tyrol Tech Talk. And this week, our subject matter is going to be Stance Skis, a new model for us this year. And just to get you up to speed on where a lot of the information is living right now for what we have for this year's line, we have our Tyrol Sports Group Facebook page, where we'll post a lot of current and relevant, maybe some news clips or something like that, maybe associated with ski racing or backcountry or that type of thing. We also have Tyrol Sports Group on Instagram, which will be posting things pretty regularly on there as well. And we also have a YouTube channel that all of our episodes of Tech Talk will be posted to YouTube. It'll be on there. So if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can, and you'll get updates on when new videos are posted. So all of the stuff that we go over here, you can go back and revisit it whenever you want. Also, the official corporate Instagram from Salomon is Alpine_insider_Salomon. There's a lot of really cool content on that as well, where you can kind of select all of the different subjects that you want, if there's something that you want to look at or get refreshed on or whatever. And there's some pretty cool stuff on there as well. So this is kind of how it lays out there, and you can see where you can click on the different models of skis or boots or bindings that you want to look at. It's a pretty cool Instagram page. So tonight we're going to go over just give you a little bit of a look inside of what the design center looks like over in Annecy, and a little bit of a look at like what the factory looks like in Altenmark as well. And then Patrick is going to run you through the structure of the range structure of the Stance skis, so all of the models and the construction. And then Mike is going to follow up with a overview of the skis comparing QST to Stance. The Annecy Design Center, this is an incredibly big place. It's 360,000 square feet, really, really giant building that is like, if you like ski stuff, which I know all you guys do, it is probably the coolest place on earth because there's so much cool ski stuff in this building, and everywhere you look, it's like being a kid in a candy store times 10. It's pretty amazing. They have 1,000 people that work there. They have these 5-axis CAD machines for machining the molds for ski boots. It's really incredible to watch those things work, and their proximity to skiing to the Alps is a really great thing because they can build a prototype in the morning, send their tester, so they can give him a prototype. He can drive up, ski on it, and come back down and give them feedback on that prototype, like all in the same day. It's really, really amazing what they do there. There's also a lot of they do a lot of market research. All of the marketing for the what product for what part of the world goes into there as well. So it's a really, really cool place. So the this next slide here shows you the recipe and what QST ski looks like when it's laid up. So this is a really cool shot because you can see all the different layers of the ski, and this is all of the pieces and parts that go into a QST 106. This is a really cool thing to watch. And then the mold is there, that's there on the left. And they lay all those pieces inside that mold, and then there's a top cover that goes on it, and they clamp it all down, and it goes into the press. And these sheets here on the corners of the table there are all of the pieces and basically the recipe for making the ski. It's a really, really cool process to see. And this is in Altenmark, where the ski factory is, so where they do the mass production of the skis.
All right, thanks, Bruce. Patrick here from the Tyrol Sports Group Shipping and Receiving World Headquarters. And really just right here, this slide just kind of shows you the heart of Stance. And it's all about the core. And what gives Stance its versatility, and arguably probably one of the most versatile ranges of skis in the Salomon line. Stance works great in hard snow. It works great in soft snow, and it's all about the core. And the core also illustrates Salomon's unique approach to ski design, in that not just overly focusing on shapes and and taper and side cut, but also looking at materials as well to kind of create a point of differentiation to provide the skier with the best possible experience and the most versatility. So what you're looking at here is the metal twin frame. So in all the Stance skis, there is an 8-layer poplar core, and then there's 2 sheets of Titanal on the top and the bottom. And you can see that on the tip and the tail, there's laser etched sections of the top layer of the metal twin frame of the Titanal laminate milled out. And in that spot is placed Salomon's proprietary CFX superfiber. And what that does is it just provides a lot of pop and snap to a ski that normally wouldn't have it in your traditional, race ski construction of 2 sheets of metal and wood. That combined with the refined shapes of just the right amount of taper, just the right amount of camber, just the right amount of rise really makes Stance, very, very versatile ski that works great, hard snow, great, and soft snow as well. So the Stance range, within the men's or unisex range, there's no reason why women wouldn't be able to ski on these, is the Stance 102, the widest version there, the flagship model, which would be the 96, and then the Stance 90. In the women's range, there is a little bit difference in the construction in that the wood core, instead of using an 8 laminate poplar core, it's an alternating laminate of poplar and caruba. And caruba is the lightweight, super powerful wood that's used in the MTN collection, which gives it that lightweight and that power of that ski. And then kind of a key thing just for talking to customers about is the graphic that's on the top sheet. So you can kind of see on the skis you might have in your store, or you can kind of see on this graphic here of this 90. The topography graphic on the Stance 102 is basically of Jackson Hole, and the 96 is Big Sky, Montana. And the Stance 90 is good old Killington.
So that's kind of the general range structure. I'm going to take you guys through a little overview that explains how Stance fits on your wall with product you might already be familiar with. For instance, QST. With the introduction of Stance, we now have 2 flat ski families between 90 and 110 underfoot or 105 underfoot that are really relevant for New England skiing, but they're really for different consumers. This particular slide has a Stance ski and a QST up next to each other. This is some tech info that is in our Alpine training guide. You can download a copy of that. You'll be able to through our YouTube channel. And we also sent that link to download this Alpine guide. So there's a lot of information as far as comparing QST to Stance, in addition to the construction that Patrick talked about. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about just briefly, obviously QST shines more in soft snow, mixed conditions, a little more of a surfy feel, but a really fun, powerful ski when you stand on it. The Stance family is really designed more for a hard charging, powerful skier. And what you're going to see in the differences between the two within similar waist widths will help explain why those skis live on the wall side by side with very different behavior. So when we talk about the shape itself, the widest point of a Stance ski when compared to a QST ski is closer to the tip and the tail. So there's a longer effective edge on the Stance in a given waist width and length, and in the QST has a slightly closer to the binding widest point of the ski. So when you're talking about 5-point side cuts, the QST has a closer widest point to the binding area, which in each model of QST in the similar width, so this is a 99 compared to a 96, the QST is going to have a shorter turn radius on its pure hourglass shape, whereas the Stance will have a little longer turn radius. So that's the width of the shape. So just the contact points on the ski are a little bit different. On the rocker profile, you're going to see that the QST ski, anything under 100 is tip rocker only. That message is consistent with Stance, but the tip rocker on a QST runs further down the ski than a Stance ski. And our philosophy on rocker stays consistent to what you would have been, what you would have known from QST. So any QST under 99 was tip rocker only. So that's true in Stance as well. The 90 and the 96 are tip rocker only, although it's a little less rocker than the QST. And obviously, like I said, it's a little longer turn radius and that twin frame metal construction. And then materials. Patrick talked about the material science and CFX superfiber. You guys have heard about that since the first version of QST. But by adding a twin frame metal laminate to a wood core and full sidewall construction, the stance materials and the construction make it a little heavier. It's physically a little heavier ski. It's a little more powerful from a skier who is maybe considering a ski that's got a little more horsepower and likes to ski a little faster with that longer turn radius. Whereas the QST is going to have that really fun, versatile turnability and float that you're familiar with. And obviously a perfect complement for somebody thinking about a little bit lighter weight ski that's really fun. Whereas the Stance family is really the daily driver for strong skiers that are going to go bell to bell at places like Killington, Stowe, Sugarbush, Loon, Cannon, and what have you. So the Stance 90 for New England is obviously a really solid waist width. It's a strong construction, but the 96 is a really, really good ski as well. For people who do want a little wider with a little more float, the 90 and 96 are for sure going to be our two workhorse skis in the new Stance line for New England. The Stance 102, it's got tip and tail rocker. It's going to have a shallower profile in the tip. It's going to look a little bit more like the tip profile of a downhill ski or like a QST 106 or 118, super low profile and an early rise in the tail. So it does have twin rocker, but that twin frame metal construction in CFX Superfiber. So that's the material differentiation. One other material that we don't use in Stance, but is in QST based on the target skier and trying to keep the QST as light as possible, is that corked amplifier. So the insert in the tip of the QST skis is a unique to QST to keep the ski a little bit lighter, keep the swing weight a little lighter. And for that skier who's going to put a shift binding on it, makes it a little lighter for the uphill. Can you put on a shift binding on a Stance? Absolutely. If somebody's a strong skier that wants to ski hard in all conditions, but they still want the option of going uphill and weight's not an issue, the Stance 90 or Stance 96 would be spectacular for New England uphill options as well. So that's the way you should look at that. So once again, so to review this slide that's in the tech manual, the Alpine Guide, it gets into a little more detail on each of the components that's different. But in short, Stance is a little longer turn radius per model and size in a given waist width compared to QST. Physically, a stronger construction for harder snow and a little bit more horsepower. Whereas QST, I think you know where that's been successful. It's just a really comfortable, fun to ski that really shines in soft snow. So Stance is the newest. We haven't had a ski built like the Stance in a very long time. So there are customers that will be coming back or haven't tried a Salomon in a while that this could be a great category for them. One other thing to note from a magazine and PR perspective is we're starting to get the feedback from the various magazines that did their testing in the spring. And this is information primarily on Stance 90. Included this because the 90 has the most placement in the shops in New England, but we do have really good placement of 96s as well. And we'll have test results from the 96 to share with you guys as those become more readily available. But the 90 absolutely crushed it. And the feedback has been super strong across the board from various different magazines, whether it be Outside, Free Skier, Powder Magazine, Mountain Magazine. So the level of interest and the success with the editor's choices and the accolades is something we haven't seen in quite a while for a really strong charging, hard snow, wider waisted ski. So that's the Stance program. We're going to open up the room. We'll take the screen off a share and go back to basically just Bruce, Patrick, and I. And if you guys, I may be able to unmute you, or you may feel free as soon as your microphone shows that you're off mute. Feel free to chime in with any questions. This is the time in the video that we crack our beers. If you have a beer and haven't opened it yet,
did I get too far ahead of things? Wait a minute.
Wait, I gotta go mix my cocktail. I didn't have it ready.
I'll just open another one. Is that okay?
Say as long as people have questions. So feel free to. Somebody else have a question that?
We talked a little bit about the rocker and the early rise. Is there anything notable about the camber difference?
Well, based on where the rocker profile changes or is different from QST to Stance, the camber position of the ski will vary similarly. So if the QST's got rocker further towards the binding, the camber points are obviously going to be closer as well. But as far as the depth of the camber, I don't know. I'll ask Chris to chime in to answer that question.
No, I mean, there's no drastic difference in our approach to the camber. With both QST and Stance, we want to offer the feel that camber provides. So you get that lively finish to a turn, a little more dynamism between turns. I would say the only difference is, the fact that this is a twin metal laminate construction. The camber and skis with this construction tends to evolve a little bit over time compared to a ski like the QST reinforced with CFX. So
Cool. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I'm definitely excited about this line. Just got some 90s in the other day. So
awesome. Great. I'll welcome you all into my my laundry room here in my basement in Ogden. Not quite as decorated as Team Tyrol. But yeah, sorry I missed it. I would say the one thing that's kind of stood out to me about the range is the fact that we're not taking a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter approach to that CFX insert in the metal twin frame design. So that size of that cutout is unique to every size ski. So kind of custom dialing that into each size is a big reason that we can kind of replicate that feel for every skier, regardless of their body size.
So just like last week, I know some of the people that are here weren't here last week. We will take this episode, we'll post it on our YouTube channel. So anyone from your shop or anyone who's interested that didn't get to sit through live can watch it. Feel free to give us some feedback. Just email back to the invite from the meeting with any comments, any topics that you'd like to hear us talk about on one of the future episodes of this Tech Talk.
And also, anybody who can identify the mountains in the background on the opening slide gets a special prize.
I know where it is.
Shut up, Patrick.
Prize?
I know.
Shut up, Patrick.
Come on, I'm smart.
There it is.
It's not an
Okay.
easy one for people that don't travel too much throughout New England, because it is, I don't think you're qualified, but anyone in Ogden that can figure
So
it
if
out.
you and it can't be where it's taken from. It's that peak that's in the background there.
This one here,
Okay.
with the little,
Any
the
ideas?
little miniature slot in the middle, the little gap there.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
back.
It's
Nope.
Saddleback.
Chris, you
No,
got random
nope. You're all wrong. You're all wrong. Somebody guess. You email us back, and whoever gets it right, we'll tell you what. Whoever gets it right next week, we'll announce it, and that person gets a special prize.
Chris is making the rules.
The pressure's on.
So
Totally.
exciting. We got to wait a whole week.
Anyways, thank you very much for your time. We're going to try to keep these as concise and clean as possible, and we'll do a different topic every week, and we'll post them on that YouTube channel after. So we'll look forward to catching up, and have a great day. Thank you, guys.